Hello everyone, welcome back to Group Lesson. My name is Nathan and these are genres. This might be a weird thing to say, but music genres are really weird. Because what do you mean music genres are weird? You got rock, you got pop, rap, jazz, blues. That seems straightforward to me. No. That is not even a quarter of it. In the evolving music landscape, it seems like songs are getting harder and harder to define and put into a box, which makes sense because just a couple thousand years we were banging rocks together for instruments, and now you can just search up type beat on YouTube and bang out a rap song in 10 minutes.
Stop going to Taco Bell, why the fuck they have my stomach hurting?
Now that creating music is more accessible, people can now get into it and then introduce their own personality and style into the genre that they love, and maybe even in a couple years define their own genre. I think a perfect example of this is Swancore. The subgenre of Swancore was created by DanceGavinDance, but more specifically their lead guitarist and co-founder WillSwan. The band is obviously trending a lot on TikTok right now, which wait till they find out. But that aside, the band introduced a more progressive style to post-hardcore, and pairing that with clean vocals, you very much have an interesting and unique sound in that specific post-hardcore genre. So you need to introduce a progressive style to your genre, have a cool last name, add clean vocals, shred the guitar, and you'll have a new genre before people can Google who is TilianPearson and what did he do. So we got Swancore, post-hardcore, hardcore, punk, and rock. So DanceGavinDance is a rock band. The Beatles to DanceGavinDance pipeline. Rock is not a really good way to describe them, so we created a new genre specific to what that kind of sound is. Instead of calling it melodic post-math progressive hardcore, we call it Swancore. And I can accept that as a genre personally. So what the hell is Grunge-gaze? Grunge-gaze is a genre pushed by Spotify where it's grunge meets shoegaze, which is a leap of logic that I might be able to accept. And if you follow my TikTok, which you should for universally beloved opinions, I already talked about this, but my personal question is, why can't we just say these bands make grunge shoegaze music? Why do we need another name? But okay, grunge-gaze, sure. So then what the hell is new gaze, American shoegaze, dreamo, Texas gaze, space grunge, doom gaze, Irish shoegaze, and shoegaze mexicano? Shoegaze is already a subgenre of alternative rock with dream pop elements through reverbed guitars and ethereal vocals, so why do we need more?
What the hell?
I thought I'd bring up shoegaze because nobody loves to argue more about what is shoegaze than shoegaze fans. And we've progressed to a point where the dreamier and more psychedelic elements have been stripped out of shoegaze, and then the modern term is starting to just mean reverbed guitars layered over vocals. So grunge gaze, essentially in this modern age, is just reverbed guitars layered over vocals on grunge. They were doing that anyways. Personally, I think that you see this kind of phenomenon more in alternative subcultures and subgenres. Because of the evolving music and internet landscape, people are starting to be more exposed to how popular their music is or can be. They're starting to see that they are truly just one person in a larger picture. Because of that, I feel like people in these specific subgenres and subcultures start narrowing the scope of what it means to be inside of that genre. Because God forbid you talk about what is or isn't emo or goth music, and you would think that you would start World War freaking 3. I was watching Instagram reels the other day, and I got this reel of this poor lady who made a list of her favorite goth bands and artists, and you would think that she murdered the Pope with how some people were acting in the comments. Depeche Mode, not goth. Which, okay, I can see that, kind of makes sense. Darkwave, technically not goth. Joy Division, not goth. Okay, maybe you can say that they pioneered that genre, but they didn't exactly enjoy that genre. Susie and the Banshees, not goth. Okay, you're kind of starting to lose me now. The Cure, not goth. Okay, now what are we doing? The absolute worst bottom of the barrel discussions, however, come from metalheads. The obvious disdain that metalheads have for the enjoyment other people have for their least favorite subgenre is absolutely insane. They treat their favorite metal genre like it's their favorite football team, and NuMetal like it's the Kansas City Chiefs. Metal corners of the internet provably have to be some of the least accessible places on the internet for sure. And this is based off of a genre. If you at all delve into music forums or music sites, you quickly realize that music can be everything and nothing at the same time. So at what point do genre and genre names just start to become meaningless? And genres are obviously not meaningless, because there is an easy and clear distinction between the Beatles and Knocked Loose. Maybe. But is this all really necessary? Will the music landscape just keep evolving and evolving, where further down the line it gets harder to define certain types of music and fit it into a specific box? Probably. My favorite artist right now is Jane Remover, and she's had an obvious and constant evolution from where she started to where she is right now. And I was talking to a friend trying to put him on to Jane Remover, and he asked me the simple question of what kind of music does she make? And that just stunned me. It's obviously hyperpop, but it could be trap, it could be post-rock, it could be emo, it could be shoegaze. So do we then create a specific subgenre tailored to what you would call that kind of sound? She already has her own subgenre anyways, why not give her a new one? No, we absolutely should not do that. I guess what the moral of the story is in this absolute yapaholic of a video is that people should stop trying to define what genre space some artist or music falls under, and instead just enjoy the music. I wanted to kind of make this video because my biggest interest in music is specific subgenres. I love looking at and looking up subgenres, where they started, the evolution that took place, and how we can compare where it is now to where it used to be. And because of that, I'm going to start a new series where I take specific genres and subgenres, listen to the 10 albums that define it, and see if we can come up with an exact definition of what these genres are, how they started, and where they are now. Was this entire video just an advertisement for more videos to come? Yeah, kinda. But if that sounds cool, you should stick around, because I'm going to have a lot of fun making these videos. But I think the most important conclusion is that you should follow my YouTube channel, you should follow my TikTok, because I make videos every single day almost, and if I don't hold me to that. But I always have a lot of fun. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.